All right, so what do we have going on here today? I have the Classy Hobby M5A1 Stuart Late version, and just finished up doing all the whole pieces together and the suspension. The kit is going together fairly well so far. A couple of hiccups. These right here, these tie downs, these are P7 in the instructions, and when you look at, that's P7 right there, and you can see those sprue gates are pretty big on such a tiny part. What I did, kind of helped toughen them up a little bit, cut them off, is I coated them with some Tamiya extra thin cement, and that seems to stiffen them up a little bit, allows them to be cut off the sprue a little easier without breaking, and then you can just glue them on where required. Now if you look at P8 and 9, those make up periscope guards, and those are a little bit fiddly to put together. You just basically glue one of the P8s, do the other side, and then take P9, lay it across the top, and glue it down. And they will stand up, and if you take and coat that again with Tamiya extra thin, it'll help with sturdy it. Now I did replace some of the plastic with brass, like right there, right there, right there, back here, and back here. And if you look, there's some more of those P7 pieces. The PE, they do not give you much of a ledge on the inside to glue this to. Take your time with it and you'll get through it. And do not forget, before you glue this upper hull on to the lower hull, drill out the holes for these tool attachments, and even this little fence right here. I didn't. I forgot, so I had to kind of guesstimate, looking off the instructions, where this went, and it looks like it went fairly well. Can't complain too terribly bad. And as you can see, there's more of the P7s. This one broke, but probably would happen in real life. But the others went on pretty good. These handles on the fuel radiator caps, fuel caps, it's just a butt-in joined, kind of a pain, but you'll get through it. Same with this PE, it has a little bit better ledge than the front up here, but it's easier to do. The rear stowage bin, as you can see, you can look in, you'll be able to see through that. So I'm going to put some stowage in there before I will glue, before I attach the lid. So that way it'll also get some paint in there, and it'll get painted, and then I got some stowage items, a couple tarps, ammo can, helmet. Back here, the spare track and the track jacks. Yeah, it's a mess. You can see there's more of those P7 parts. So when you go and put the belt through there, if you pull too tight, they'll break. So just be careful with that. Still have to put the sledgehammer in here. Axe goes over here on this side. Spare track, it came out okay. I think after painting, weathering, it'll be all right. The back side of this thing, there you have your big tanker bar in the back. More P7s, which are just a nightmare. More PE. Let me get this over here. This piece here is funky. You can't glue it to the attachment point here and expect it to stay. You're going to have to glue it back here in the back to the rear hull to make that work. All right, there's just no way around it. It won't stay otherwise. But altogether, I think it's going to look pretty decent once it gets all painted up, weathered. It'll be pretty decent. Nothing really major up here on the front headlights, horn, bow machine gun, headlight, all that went together pretty well. Making the brass handles here is definitely a better way to go. And even up here, rather than trying to use the kit plastic ones, I think they'll just look better. All right, let's look at the suspension real fast. The suspension. Sorry about that. These are fiddly, just like you might have seen in another video. These parts right here, I just did it. I did the back two first, right? Put the wheels on, and then do the front two, and then just glue the rest of it together. And another thing, you got to make sure as I pull out here that the round parts, one faces front, one faces rear. It's not very clear on the instructions on that. So looking at reference material, definitely the round part kind of faces out, and then the flat part is centered. All right, but really not too much. I mean, they roll. They don't articulate because you got to glue them. You got to glue the articulating parts together, but it's pretty good. And watch what your instructions say, because if you're putting the side skirts on, this piece is different. It's got a little additional piece of plastic coming straight up for the side skirts to mount to. So definitely watch what you're doing there, and you won't have a problem. The rear idler, let's see, this is the inside, because this is where it mounts. Just I went with the closed version. I think it looks a little bit better than the open, since the road wheels are closed. And pretty straightforward, nothing really major to say about that. Not bad. Drive shafts, is what it is. No biggie there. Pretty simple. And back to this real fast, recap on this. P7, that thing is a challenge. Just take your time with it, and if you coat them in extra thin, it does sturdy them up, so it makes them easier to cut off. And if you have a good set of screws, like I use my Tamiya ones right here, they'll come off pretty clean. The track was a little tedious, but not bad. Hold on a second. I got some link track right here. It's the bar cleat style, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little run of them, you know. Just time consuming. That's all it is, but it is workable. Look pretty decent put together, and I think that they're going to look really good weathered up and on the tank. I'm going to start the turret and let you know how that goes, but I don't think that'll be too major. The basic construction is really straightforward. I mean, you got somewhat of a rudimentary interior in there. I mean, you can kind of see the escape hatch right there, you know. You can just barely make out the bow machine gun 30 cal is in there, you know, and you got the rear bulkheads. So, and you do have the fans back there in the back, but by the time you get the rear built up, you'll never see that detail. And then I do have to add a couple little extra details. Probably a weld line right through here, a weld line right through here, because I got a little bit of gappage I gotta fix. So weld lines there, but I think I should have the turret easily built this week, and then it should be ready for paint. I think it's going to be a good looking model when it's all said and done. You know, so if you haven't built this thing yet, just take your time with it. Follow the instructions. You know, they're not the clearest, but they'll definitely get you in the right direction. And hopefully with this video might help you out, give you some information on it. And if you can, definitely, you know, replace some of them plastic grab handles with metal, you know, some brass wire. I mean, I think it just makes it look that much better, you know. And I haven't figured out for sure what I'm going to do with the stowage. Definitely have some pieces back here in the back, probably maybe a rear stowage on the turret, bustle, some jerry cans back there, maybe a couple ammo cans tied down here and there, or a C-rat box, but nothing too major. You know, I kind of like keeping my tanks fairly clean. And anyways, if you have any thoughts, leave a comment. Thanks.